Have you ever felt that there are spiritual truths hidden from you, something that seems to be reserved for an exclusive group? Why does the top 1% understand divine power in a way you can't even imagine? This video is no coincidence. You are here because it is time to wake up and discover what they know about the real God and what you have a right to know. There has always been a select group that keeps secrets about the universe, life, and the divine. These secrets are not a myth, they are real and have been used to control, influence, and keep power in their hands. But today, those truths are beginning to come to light. This knowledge reserved for a few has kept humanity trapped in a cycle of external searching, as they connect directly to universal power. Today you are here because it is no coincidence. This message came to you to help you break those chains and rediscover the truth that has always been within you. Are you ready to meet her? Throughout history, there has always been a silent struggle for control, not only of material resources, but also of knowledge. This knowledge, particularly spiritual knowledge, has been carefully guarded by a few. It is no coincidence that the most spiritually advanced civilizations are also the ones that have left clues about this truth, access to a power that transcends the physical, that connects the human being with the divine source of the universe. Think of ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, Sumerians, and Mayans. These cultures had a deep understanding of the cosmos, energy, and the connection between humans and the universe. Their temples, hieroglyphics, and belief systems reveal that they understood something that we are just rediscovering. Access to the divine did not depend on intermediaries, but on internal practices of connection with the universal essence. Why did that knowledge disappear? With the advent of organized religious systems, spiritual power was centralized. The original sacred texts, many of which spoke of the direct connection to the real God, were hidden, manipulated, or reinterpreted. For example, at the Council of Nicaea in 325, the foundations of Christian doctrine as we know it today were established. But did you know that at that time many Gospels and texts that spoke of an inner God and the capacity of the human being to manifest his divinity were also discarded? These texts, considered apocryphal, were deliberately removed because they represented a danger to power structures. It was not only Christianity. In other traditions we also find this pattern. In Hinduism, for example, the original Vedic texts spoke of self-realization as the path to the divine. However, over time, the complexity of the rituals and the hierarchy of the priests created a gap between the individual and his or her direct connection to God. The question is, why is this truth hidden? Why have institutions made so much effort to keep us looking outside of ourselves? The answer is simple: control. An individual who does not understand his own power is easier to manipulate. When we depend on someone else to intercede for us, whether it is a religious, political, or spiritual leader, we give up our power. This small group, the top 1%, has understood for centuries that the true connection to the real God is not in external temples or rigid dogmas, but within ourselves. Take the symbolism of the pyramids as an example. Why are they aligned with astronomical precision? Why do they contain inner chambers that seem designed for rituals of spiritual connection? These structures were not simple tombs, they were tools to access higher levels of consciousness. The knowledge to design and use them was not available to everyone, only to a spiritual elite who understood these truths. Even today, this pattern persists. Large global organizations, from corporations to educational institutions, do not promote the idea of inner spiritual connection. Instead, they bombard us with externally seeking messages, that happiness, fulfillment, and purpose are in money, success, or relationships. But these searches never fill the void, because the true connection is not outside, but inside. They, the top 1%, know this truth. It is no accident that many people in positions of power study occult spiritual disciplines, from Hermeticism to esotericism. Meanwhile, most of us are taught to fear or ridicule these practices, further away from our true potential. A contemporary example is how certain secret societies have preserved this knowledge. Organizations such as the Rosicrucians or the Freemasons have been accused for centuries of keeping spiritual truths for a few. While much of what is said about them is speculation, what is undeniable is that they represent a model. Access to deep knowledge is reserved for those who are willing to seek it beyond the conventional. This brings us to a crucial truth. The real God is not an external concept. He is not a figure who dictates rules from on high. It is an energy, a universal consciousness that resides in each of us. However, this idea has been misrepresented. Most of us have been taught to imagine God as something external, something that is separate from us, that we need to earn or find. But for the 1%, this truth is clear: the divine is within. So why don't they teach us this? Because an awakened humanity is a free humanity. An individual who understands his true connection with the universe does not need to be controlled. He does not look outside for what he already has inside. This is the knowledge that they want to keep secret. Today, however, this truth is beginning to come to light. More and more people are realizing that spirituality is not about following an imposed system, but about rediscovering who we really are. The real God is not owned by the 1%, it is everyone's right. The only question is, will you be willing to look for it? When we speak of the real God, we are not referring to a figure that is distant, watchful, or limited by human conceptions. This top 1% has understood something that most people don't. The true God is not something external or separate from us. It is pure consciousness, the creative energy that connects and sustains everything that exists. It is the origin, the essence, and the basis of reality itself. And most importantly, this divine force resides within each of us. The problem is that, to the rest of the world, we have been taught otherwise. From childhood, we are instilled with the idea that spiritual power is external, that we must look for answers in religions, leaders, or institutions. We have been programmed to think that we are incomplete, that we need something or someone outside of ourselves to reach our spiritual fulfillment. But here's the secret that they don't want you to know: the power you're looking for is already within you. Consciousness as the true God. The 1% understand that what we call God is not an anthropomorphic figure or a cosmic judge, but a universal consciousness. This consciousness has no form or limits. It is the infinite field of energy that gives rise to all creation. The fascinating thing is that you, as a human being, are not separate from this energy. Every thought, emotion, and action you emit directly influences this universal field, shaping your reality. For example, in quantum physics, it has been shown that the observer affects the outcome of an experiment. This leads us to a surprising conclusion: your attention, your thoughts, and your intention have a direct impact on the universe. This is what the 1% deeply understand. They practice techniques such as meditation, visualization, and manifestation to direct this energy in their favor. Meanwhile, most of us are distracted by dogmas, obligations, and worldly distractions to keep us disconnected from this power. The universe as an extension of the divine. Another key to occult knowledge is to understand that the universe is not a separate place from you, it is an extension of your own being. Everything in the cosmos is interconnected. From the farthest stars to the cells of your body, everything vibrates at the same frequency of divine creation. The ancient sages knew this. Texts such as the Upanishads in the Hindu tradition, or the Kybalion in Hermetic philosophy, teach that everything is mind, and that the universe is a projection of our consciousness. However, this teaching has been hidden or simplified to the point of losing its depth. They know that when you become aware of this connection, something changes within you. You start living from a place of inner power rather than looking outside for answers. You become a co-creator of your reality, rather than a victim of circumstance. The manipulation of religious dogmas. Why is this knowledge not taught openly? The answer is simple: an individual who understands his or her connection to the divine is uncontrollable. He does not need intermediaries, he does not fear divine punishment, and he does not submit to power structures designed to limit him. Religions, although many began with pure intentions, have been used as tools of control. We have been taught that access to God depends on certain rules, rituals, or institutions. They have convinced us that we are separate from the divine and that we need mediators to attain it. This separation creates fear, dependency, and ultimately a loss of personal power. Consider this: if every person in the world understood that they don't need to seek God because God is already within them, what would happen to the institutions that profit from our ignorance? Practices the 1% use to connect with the divine. While most of us are distracted by external searching, the 1% devote their time and energy to practices that strengthen their connection to inner power. Here are some of the tools they use. 1. Deep meditation. Through meditation, they train their mind to connect with universal consciousness. Meditation allows you to access higher states of perception where you can gain clarity, creativity, and inner peace. 2. Visualization and manifestation. You use the power of your imagination to project what you want into the quantum field. They understand that what they hold in their mind with emotion and focus has the potential to become reality. 3. Study of hidden texts. They delve into esoteric knowledge that is not available in conventional education. Texts such as the Kybalion, the Keys of Enoch, or the Gnostic Gospels reveal to them profound truths about the universe and humanity. 4. Connection with nature. They know that nature is a direct manifestation of the divine. They spend time quietly in sacred places, recharging their energy in remembering their connection to the whole. The power is in you. The biggest secret that the 1% jealously guard is this: you too have access to this knowledge and power. The universe makes no distinctions. What they know and apply is available to you as soon as you decide to look within yourself. It's time to question everything you've been taught about who you are and where your power comes from. You don't need to look outside, you don't need anyone's approval. The real God, infinite consciousness, is in every cell of your body, in every thought you have, in every beat of your heart. This message came to you for a reason. Perhaps it is time to wake up and reclaim what has always been yours: your connection to the divine, your ability to co-create your life, and your right to live from a place of love, peace, and inner power. Are you ready to embrace this truth and stop looking outside for what has always been inside you? Your awakening begins now. Humanity has lived for centuries under the shadow of a myth that has shaped our perception of the divine. This myth tells us that God is an external, distant being with strict rules and unrelenting judgment. It is an image that has inspired both fear and veneration, but which, at its core, does not reflect the truth of who God really is. The myth of the punishing God was created to keep us disconnected from our divine essence and our true power. This idea makes us feel small, unworthy, and dependent on intermediaries to attain salvation. But if we look deeply, something doesn't fit. If God is infinite love, how can he also be a harsh judge who punishes without mercy? The true God, the one that the top 1% understands and uses to their advantage, is neither external nor distant. It is pure love, universal consciousness, the energy that unites everything that exists. It is not outside of us, but within every human being, waiting to be recognized and manifested. The God taught separation and control. From very early in our lives, most of us were introduced to the idea of a God who resides somewhere far away, separate from us. We were taught that this God has strict rules and that our mission is to obey them in order to gain his favor and avoid his punishment. This concept is reinforced through religious institutions, manipulated sacred texts, and cultural narratives that perpetuate the separation between the human and the divine. But this teaching has a clear purpose: control. An individual who believes he is disconnected from God is easy to manipulate. He lives in fear of punishment and in constant search of external approval. You depend on religious systems, leaders, and power structures to guide your spiritual life. This model is no coincidence. It has been carefully designed to prevent us from discovering the truth, that we do not need to seek God because we are already part of Him. The real God, unity and consciousness. On the other hand, the true God is not a separate being or a punishing judge. It is the universal consciousness, the infinite field of energy that connects everything that exists. It is pure love, infinite creativity, and absolute unity. This divine energy is not limited to a few or found in specific places, it is everywhere and, above all, within each one of us. The real God does not need to be earned or sought, because He is already here. Every thought you have, every emotion you experience, and every action you take is an expression of this divine energy. The entire universe, including your own being, is an extension of the divine. The manipulation of the truth. Why then have we been taught otherwise? Because true spiritual knowledge liberates. A human being who understands that he is part of the divine cannot be controlled. It does not fear eternal punishment, nor does it depend on external institutions to validate its existence. Live from a place of inner power, authenticity, and connection to the whole. This poses a threat to those seeking to maintain control. That is why the image of the punishing God has been promoted for centuries. The idea that we are separate from God and that we need intermediaries to attain enlightenment or salvation keeps us in a constant state of dependence and fear. Let's reflect together. What if the world understood that we are all part of this divine power? How would our lives change if we stopped looking for God outside of ourselves and began to experience His presence within? Imagine a world where each person lives with the certainty that they are a unique expression of the divine. A world where the fear of judgment and punishment is replaced by love, unity, and compassion. What about the power structures that depend on our ignorance and separation? The keys to the real God. The top 1% have understood these truths and use them to their advantage. They recognize that the real God has no form, gender, or limits. It is a creative force that can be channeled through intention, consciousness, and aligned action. While most of us are taught to look outside, they practice introspection, meditation, and conscious manifestation. You have learned to direct this universal energy to create your realities and maintain your influence. However, this knowledge is not reserved only for them. The truth is that we all have access to this divine power. The problem is that we have been distracted, conditioned, and stripped of our ability to recognize it. Breaking the myth. To debunk this myth, we need to reprogram our minds and hearts. We must free ourselves from ideas of separation and judgment and begin to live from the truth that we are one with the whole. The first step is to look inward. Through meditation, reflection, and connection with our essence, we can directly experience the divine presence. Not as a concept, but as a living reality within us. The next step is to question everything we have been taught. Ask, why do I believe what I believe about God? Do my beliefs empower or limit me? What do I feel when I think about God being inside me? Finally, share this truth. When more people begin to live from their inner power, the world will change. The structures of control will lose their influence and a new era of love, unity, and consciousness will emerge. The myth of the punishing God may have shaped our perception, but it has never been the truth. The true God is love, unity, and infinite consciousness. And most importantly, that God is within you. The time to reclaim your connection to the divine is now. Stop looking outside for what has always been inside you. You are part of the whole, a unique expression of the creative energy of the universe. Are you ready to release the illusion and live from the truth of your divine self? Your awakening begins here. Knowledge is no longer out of reach. Now you know that the real God is not a mystery reserved for a privileged few. That divine energy, that immense and loving power that connects everything, is also within you. It has been with you forever, patiently waiting for you to turn inward and recognize it. This is the time. You no longer need to look outside of yourself for answers. You don't need dogmas, intermediaries, or complex rituals. Everything you need is within: your innate ability to connect with your divine essence, your power to manifest the life you desire, and your ability to live in unity with the universe. Awakening begins with a choice. The first step towards spiritual awakening is to consciously choose to look within yourself. Recognize that the real God is not a distant figure or an unattainable ideal. It is the spark of life that illuminates your existence, the love you feel, the intuition that guides you, and the force that drives you to grow. Reflect for a moment. What changes might occur in your life if you lived from the certainty that you are an expression of the divine? What would your day-to-day life be like if you fully trusted your connection to the universe? These questions are not theoretical. They are invitations to imagine a different reality, one in which you are not separate from the power that shapes all that exists. A practice for connecting with your inner power. I want to share with you a simple yet powerful exercise that you can do to begin to connect with your divine essence. You don't need previous experience or a special place. You only need a few minutes and the willingness to look inward. Exercise: reconnecting with your divinity. 1. Find a quiet place, sit in a comfortable position, either on the floor or in a chair. Make sure your back is straight but relaxed. 2. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold for a few seconds and exhale gently through your mouth. Do this 3 times to calm your mind. 3. Bring your attention to the center of your chest. This is the place where your divine energy resides, the point of connection with your essence. Imagine a warm, golden light igniting in your heart. 4. Repeat a mantra. You can use simple words like, "I am divine," or, "The light is in me." Repeat this mantra silently or quietly while focusing on the light on your chest. 5. Feel the connection. As you repeat the mantra, imagine that golden light expanding. It fills your entire body and beyond, enveloping you in a warm, loving, and protective energy. Allow yourself to feel peace, love, and unity. 6. Finish with gratitude. When you're ready, open your eyes slowly. Be thankful for this moment of connection with yourself and with the universe. This exercise, although simple, is a doorway to your divine essence. Practice it daily, even if you can only spend 5 minutes on it. Over time, you'll notice how your perspective changes, how you feel more aligned and connected to something much bigger than yourself. The power of now. Spiritual awakening is not something that happens overnight. It's an ongoing process, a journey that begins with small steps like this exercise. The most important thing is that you allow yourself to experience the present moment fully. Every breath, every thought, and every emotion is an opportunity to reconnect with the divine within you. As Master Eckhart Tolle said, the now is the only point of access to power. When you focus on the present moment, you stop looking for answers in the past or future and find the direct connection to your essential self. Wake up and live from your power. Awakening is not just a spiritual experience, it's a total transformation of how you live your life. It is to stop living from fear and lack to start living from love, abundance and connection. Remember, you are part of something immense. The universe is not separate from you, you are an expression of the universe. You have access to divine power, what you seek is already within you. You just need to remember how to connect with it. Change starts now. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or have all the answers. All you need is to take the first step. A personal invitation. Today, I want to invite you to take that first step toward your spiritual awakening. You don't need to be afraid, because this journey isn't about becoming something different, it's about remembering who you really are. If you feel this message resonate with you, I encourage you to practice the exercise, reflect on the questions, and open yourself to the possibility that there is much more to you than what you have been taught. The real God is not a mystery, is immense light, as a unique and unrepeatable manifestation of His infinite love. Acknowledging this not only transforms your perspective, but it gives you back a power that has always been yours. Now, it's up to you to choose what you'll do with this truth. You can keep it inside and allow it to grow and flourish, transforming every aspect of your life. Or you can share it, inspire others, and be a beacon for those seeking awakening. Imagine a world where everyone lives from this divine connection, from love, peace, and unity. That world begins with each of us. Share this message with those who need it, because together we can awaken to the power of the universe within us. Always remember, you are bigger, brighter, and more powerful than you were ever told. The time to live from your divine essence is now. Are you ready to embrace this truth and become the change the world needs? The journey continues, and you are an essential part of it. Share us in the comments, how does the idea that true divine power has always been within you make you feel? What steps are you willing to take to connect with that essence and awaken to your truth? Share your reflections, we want to read you and together expand this important conversation. If this message resonated with you, we invite you to discover more. Click on the link in the video description to access exclusive content that will help you deepen your spiritual awakening. Don't miss it. We want to deeply thank all those who have joined our community through membership. Your support not only motivates us, but allows us to continue creating content that inspires and guides us on this path of self-discovery. Thank you for being part of this family. If you have been inspired by this video, we invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video and activate the notification bell. Thank you for being part of our Essential Vibrations community. Remember to share this message with those people you think can help them. See you in the following video.